What is good, y'all? It is Anime K here, and we are back with another video. And today we're going to be talking about Geto and why he is so complex. Now, I've been trying to make this video for a while actually, because Geto, he quickly became one of my favorite characters, especially after season 2, and it's really hard to write videos and really plan a video for characters like Geto, like Eren, like Light, you know, characters that see a problem in the world and go to extreme lengths to get rid of it, basically trying to wipe off the whole human population. Well, in Light's case, he wasn't trying to kill the human population, but anyone that even committed a crime he would kill. But I think the notion's still the same, and a character like Geto, for me, in JJK, I've not really seen a character like him where it really makes you think about the JJK world and what JJK sources have to go through. There's other characters that are really interesting, obviously Gojo and, you know, Itadori and the rest of them guys, right? They are interesting, but I think Geto was the first one where I was like, wow. And it took JJK from really good for me to like peak. Like, I was fully invested after the Geto arc, and now you guys might be like, well, season 1 was good. Season 1 was good, don't get me wrong, but when Geto was introduced into the show, it just blew me away. First, let's explain Geto's goal. So Geto's plan was to basically wipe out all non-sorcerers, because if you didn't know, which you probably do if you're watching this video, but non-sorcerers emit negative energy, which then creates cursed energy. So Geto's plan was to wipe out all non-sorcerers to get rid of all curses. Now, this plan is very, very extreme, and there is other ways Geto could have gone about it, but I think we have to take a look at Geto and his relationship and just the genius of him being put into the show at the time that it was. And then at the end of the video, we'll go over whether I think it's right or wrong. Now, JJK 0 and season 2 of JJK, I watched the other way around. So I watched season 2, or at least the hidden inventory arc. I watched that before I watched JJK 0. So I knew who Geto was from Instagram and social media, but I didn't really know his relationship with Gojo. I just used to see clips of them together, but I didn't know who he was, right? Because I watched season 2 of JJK pretty late because I was busy with stuff. But let me tell you, when I watched season 2 of JJK and then I went back and watched Jujutsu no Kaisen 0, I wish I'd watched Jujutsu no Kaisen 0 first, because I think it is amazing, or maybe even genius. I don't want to go too far and call it genius, but the way the author first shows you Geto as this evil guy who just wants to kill all humans, and really, I'm sure a lot of people after that movie that weren't spoiled or didn't read the manga, right, thought, oh, this guy is evil. How is he ever friends with Gojo? Or I'm sure you were interested about their relationship and why he left JJK, because in the movie, it is revealed that he used to be a JJK sorcerer, and he's even a special grade, which only like 4 people are in, so you knew he was going to be strong when you see him fight. And I think Geto, he played more of an Itachi role to Gojo, the way Itachi played a role to Sasuke. And what do I mean by that? Now, when Itachi died, and obviously Sasuke found out the truth about what happened, and that, you know, Itachi had basically been coerced into doing it by Danzo, and that it was basically the Hidden Leaf's fault, Sasuke got angry, and at first he decided to destroy the Hidden Leaf, but then when he lost to Naruto, he really decided to take Itachi's true wishes on, to protect the Hidden Leaf and to protect the world. And he kind of took the same path as Itachi took, kind of being like a Shadow Hokage, someone who was outside the village but was also protecting it. And it was the same thing with Gojo and Geto. Now, after Geto's death, Gojo decided that he would never ever leave a student by themselves again, and that's why you see him trying so hard to put teams together and bring people closer together, so they never have to be isolated the way his friend Geto was. And he probably feels somewhat guilty for not realizing what was going on with Geto. Now, do I blame Gojo for not realizing what was going on? I don't really blame him, because it's like, you can say he could have seen the signs more, but sometimes with people, you don't really see the signs, or if someone's sad, you don't really know how to help. You just think, oh, they'll be all right. So I don't really put too much of the blame onto Gojo for him not realizing Geto's decline, but I guess he could have done a better job. But you see now in the current timeline that he is doing just that. So when we see the start of season 2, we see it's very wholesome between the characters. We see Geto and Gojo making fun of this girl. I'll put a name there. I'm sorry, I did not have the time to really go and research. I did have the time, but I just didn't go and research their names before doing this. But you see they're making fun of this girl, right? And it's very wholesome. You can see they're very happy. So it's different from the Geto that you see in JJK 0. And now I think at this point in the show, from what it looks like, they've never really been tested on like a really high level. They probably have battles where they thought they were going to lose, but judging from both their attitudes, they'd never really been tested that hard. They always used to call themselves the strongest, and even in fights you can see they're very cocky, they're very calm. You know, they expect us to go into the fights winning, and that's what's going to happen when you've never lost, right? Especially Gojo, who was just powerful from birth, right? Now, they have to protect Rika against various curses. I mean, there's at least about 5 or 6 curses that try to kill Rika, and Gojo and Geto get rid of all these curses fairly easy, right? There's a bit of a challenge there, but they get rid of them fairly easy, so it's kind of the same thing they've been dealing with. Then they get closer to Rika, you know, you get the beach scene where they're all close and they're having fun, and they're trying to give Rika a good time before she has to become the vessel, right? Now, the first big test that you see them have, and probably the first big test in their careers, is when Toji shows up. Now, Toji, someone who at first glance, right, is weak, but Toji has a special ability. Basically, he only has like, I think, a little bit or no cursed energy, right? And basically, because he has no cursed energy, it makes him really, really strong. I don't know the full mechanics to it, but it just makes him really, really strong. And also, he's kind of the perfect counter for Jujutsu sorcerers because they can't track him. And you see in the scene, right, he sneaks up behind Gojo and stabs him with a sword. Now, Gojo doesn't die from this because it's a normal sword. If he'd used a cursed sword, Gojo would have sensed him, right? Now, he has a fight with Gojo and he nearly kills Gojo. And as this is happening, Geto is taking Rika down to be given as a vessel. Now, he asks Rika, do you want to become the vessel or do you want to stay as a human? Essentially giving her the choice. And I think in this regard, Geto, he wanted to give her a choice because 1, he'd gotten so close to her, and 2, he probably just felt sorry for her and he probably wanted her to have a chance to live her life. And then when Rika dies, right, and he fails to protect her, I think there's a shift in Geto's mind because he's probably never failed a mission this bad before. Finally letting Rika make her own decisions in life and then failing to protect her and her dying straight away, right? And this is just the start of Geto's kind of mental decline, because after this, right, when they are grabbing Rika's body, you see that group of people clapping, and then people that are clapping are the same people that hired Toji to kill Rika in the first place. So in Geto's mind, he's thinking, these same humans that I'm risking my life to protect, right? He even describes eating curses as a dirty rag, I want to say, or a rag with vomit on it. So he says all this, right? He's going through all this, and the very people he's trying to protect just denied a girl and killed a girl and denied her of having her own choices. And because he had a personal relationship with Rika and she was a sweet girl, he probably felt angry, upset, so many different emotions going through his head. And you see these people are clapping, and they're almost clapping in such a, I want to say demonic, right, but like such an evil way. Like they just don't care that a little girl has died. Even though she's a vessel, she's still just a high school girl. She was still just a girl enjoying life or wanting to enjoy life, right? And then they are clapping because she is dead. And even Gojo, you see, says, should we kill all these guys now? I mean, we could kill them if we really wanted to. And Geto at this point still keeps his resolve and says, no, we're not going to kill them. So what this shows here is that Geto still wants to hang on to his belief that he can protect humans and that the strong should protect the weak. But I think this scene is very powerful, and you can see this scene is replayed throughout the season, or throughout the 4 episodes, especially the last 2. It is replayed, and so you can see this had a really mental effect on Geto. Gojo as well, but Geto really thought about it more deeply, right? You can see Gojo doesn't really think about stuff too deeply until after Geto's death. And you have to think about it like this. Before, Geto's kind of philosophies were so black and white. They were the strong protect the weak. It's their duty to protect the weak. But if I had to make an example of this, it's like, do you know when soldiers go off to war, right? And they go off to fight for their country, but then when they come back, they're not treated right. They may be put in terrible homes. They may not even be respected by the public. And I'm sure them soldiers question, what did I fight for? I'm fighting for a country who doesn't even respect me. Or maybe even something simpler like family. Have you ever been a little kid and you grow up and you realize that your family members weren't really that good, or some of them weren't really the best, right? And I think we're all tasked with this decision in life, or this pushback on our thoughts. I think every day we're always tested on our beliefs. And I think this right here is what makes Geto such a great character and such a complex character, because I think we can understand what Geto was going through to a certain degree of our beliefs and what we believed. Now, after Rika's death, Geto explains to you how it's been since she died. You can see that he's more depressed, he's getting more sad, and even Gojo notices that he's lost weight. And he's just overall not in a good place. He explains that him and Gojo have been sent out on different missions now, or been sent out on missions alone. So you can see he's had more and more time alone with his own thoughts. And as someone who has experienced that, right, I would say I can understand that, because when you're left alone with your own thoughts and no one to talk to and no one to even kind of contradict your thoughts, you get more and more sucked into what you're feeling or what you're thinking at that time. And that's what happens to Geto. And one day he talks to this special grade sorcerer, which again, I'll put her name there, I'm sorry about the names, but he speaks to a special grade sorcerer, and basically she tells him, right, they have a conversation, but it basically leads up to, she goes, the you that wants to protect humans and the you that despises humans, they're the same person, but you have to decide whether you want to live your life but still protecting humans, or if you want to go down a different path.
The part of you who despises non-sorcerers and the part of you who rejects that are both just possibilities that you're considering right now. It's up to you to choose which part becomes your true feelings from here on out.
And in this conversation, he brings up that maybe the way to get rid of all curses is just to kill all non-sorcerers. You can see even he looks shocked. That just came out of his mouth, because it's like basically having a thought in your head for so long, but you finally say it out loud. It almost becomes real, or it almost becomes true in a sense to yourself, because once you say something out loud, I don't know why I feel like the mouth and the power of words is such a powerful thing that once you finally said it, there's kind of no going back from it. And that's what he says to the special grade sorcerer. And then she says, obviously, that you have to decide what you want to be and what you want to do for yourself. Now, I don't think this is necessarily bad advice. At first, I was like, I mean, you could have tried to sway him from not killing humans, right? But I guess she's not his mom, it's not his job, but she was just telling him, look, you're gonna have to decide how you want to live your life. And I guess that's great advice for everyone. I'm sure, again, this is another reason why we can relate to Geto. I'm sure we've all had choices, and we will continue to have choices in life where you have 2 or 3 paths, or let's just say 2 paths for the sake of this video, right? You have a path where, look, you can go this way in life or you can go that way in life, and however you choose, or whatever choice or whatever road you decide to go down, will shape the rest of your life. Now, we see after this, Geto gets called out on a mission to a village to exercise these, I don't necessarily think they're curses, but I know they're magic users, right? I know they're not, I don't think they're curses, but they're kind of, okay, I know I just used the word magic. Let me just say sorcery, right? I'm not going to say magic, but I know they're sorcery users, right? And basically these girls have been beaten and hurt and imprisoned by these humans, the same humans he's been protecting. And you see a flashback where he starts to think about the people clapping when Rika died, and you see all that starts to boil over. And I think in that moment he makes a decision, look, I'm going down this path and I'm killing all humans. Because I think what Geto saw is, at first in the start of this season, he wants to protect humans, he wants to protect the weak, and it's so black and white for him. What happened throughout this arc and throughout this season, or throughout these first 4 episodes, right, he sees that it's not all black and white. The world is not black and white. You're gonna get evil humans and good humans. And I think in his mind he was like, why am I going through all this pain? Why am I risking my life on a day-to-day basis for these humans that are probably just as evil as the curses? So in his mind, he was like, I might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone and get rid of the non-sorcerers, and by doing that I'll get rid of the curses, and then we can just have a world filled with jujutsu sorcerers, or at least people that can control their cursed energy. So when he sees his 2 little girls, he decides to take the rest of the humans outside. So he goes, guys, can we step out for a bit? And he kills every single human. I think it's at least about 40 or 50 humans he kills. Then Headmaster goes to speak to Gojo, tells Gojo this, and says that Geto even killed his own parents. So you know he's serious about this plan. I think this arc is such a good arc because, one, we can relate to Geto, and 2, I think the way they show Geto at the start, like I said in JJK 0, your whole opinion on him just kind of gets flipped on its head. And that's why I compared him to Itachi at the start of the video, because in the same sense, right, and I know I bring Naruto into like probably every single video I record, right? But Itachi is a character who at first we thought was evil, or we perceived as evil, but then when the story progressed, we realized he did everything for Sasuke and for the Leaf Village and sacrificed his own clan to do so. Whether we agree or disagree with his plans, we can at least feel empathy for his decision. Now, we don't necessarily have to agree with it, but we can still see it from both sides. And I think that's kind of a metaphor for life, you know. I think you shouldn't judge people until you see their side and then you make your decision from that. And now, even though deep down I kind of secretly wanted Geto to survive, because after season 2 I especially started to fall in love with his character. I think his character served as a great lesson for Gojo, and it really shapes Gojo, because before Geto's death, you see he's very carefree, he doesn't really care about protecting people, but once Geto dies, it's like he kind of has to step up, and he really steps up in a big way. And I think Geto's character served his purpose in the story and really showed us that jujutsu sorcerers have to go through a lot, and it shows you that, you know, if you're left alone, you don't have people around you, you can end up like Geto. Now look, you guys let me know if you enjoy this video. You know, this, like I said before, was a hard video for me to make because I think Geto, again, as a character, he's so complex, and I might have missed out some stuff because I feel like his character is just so complex that there's just so much you can talk about with Geto, right? Now, do I think he could have found a different way? Yes, but again, some people just go to big extremes. But look, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, tell me if you would like me to break down any other characters and I would do so, and tell me if you enjoyed this video, or tell me if you didn't enjoy it. And look, this has been Anime K. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and thank you for watching, listening, or however you choose to indulge in my content, and peace. I'm out.